everybody's
if you've been under a rock, you don't know what's going on with Diddy, but I'm pretty sure everybody knows it's just like the most popular news that's out there in social media and entertainment. So
absolutely.
There's an actual lawsuit from Cassie. I think I don't know if is it criminal or is it more of a civil?
I think it's civil.
Yeah, well, she's alleging that she was raped, she was kidnapped, trafficked, forced to have, I guess you could say, strange situations, sexual situations with, she said, male escorts and things like that.
Yeah.
A lot of drugs pushed on her.
Mm-hmm.
A whole bunch of, we got to say accusations because we can't really say that, he hasn't had his day as of yet.
Yeah. At the time they met, she was 19, he was 37.
Okay. All right. So we're going to run a quick clip. We'll see what they're talking about over here.
Cassie just filed a lawsuit against Diddy, and she's alleging some pretty disturbing things. So I want to start with a trigger warning. In this lawsuit, Cassie accuses Diddy of rape, physical assault, and sex trafficking. According to the lawsuit, Cassie met Diddy when she was 19 years old and got into a relationship with him when she was 22 years old and he was 40 years old. According to court documents, he immediately introduced her to a fast-paced, drug-filled lifestyle. She also alleges that he blew up Kid Cudi's car for being romantically interested in her. In the lawsuit, she says she signed a 10-album deal with Diddy shortly after meeting him and that he quickly helped her achieve success musically. But she says that he was highly critical, and not long after, he was controlling all aspects of her life. She then alleges that once they were involved romantically, that he started forcing her to have sex with male sex workers while under the influence of drugs and while he watched. The lawsuit also details years of physical abuse, while it alleges that his staff did little or nothing to help. The lawsuit also alleges that Diddy, Sean Combs, would force her to take copious amounts of drugs that eventually led her into an addiction. Another trigger warning, here you can see that she says that he raped her when she tried to leave him in 2018. According to court documents, she checked into a rehab center after leaving him because of the trauma and the abuse that she suffered during their 10 years together. The lawsuit goes into detail about the alleged abuse, some of it that I don't want to get into because it is just too heavy. The lawsuit was filed in New York. It is public record, and Cassie's lawyer has represented some of Harvey Weinstein's victims.
She done laid everything out, told me she want to get into nothing else. She done said all the hard stuff. Yeah, that's tough, man. That's tough. That's,
The first thing that jumps out to me, because we spoke about it on the show, is the age gap dating. And you hear about how you have younger women dating older men and how they're being groomed. And I think a lot of the times when people are negative on it, they're semi saying the grooming is controlling. You understand what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Do you feel like the age gap had everything to do with the reason why he was able to get her to force her to, it allegedly forced her to do drugs, have sexual escapades with other men while he watched, and all these type of things?
No, I don't think the age gap had maybe 20% to do with it. I feel like the other 80 was money. The money made her stick around for all those things, and that's what.
So you feel like an older woman would have did the same thing based on paper?
Well, based on paper and the leverage she has in the relationship, I feel like it's easier to manipulate a younger woman than it is to manipulate a younger man. But paper, whoever controls most of the resources in a relationship definitely can dictate what's going on. Because even if the age gap was a little closer, because him and Kim Porter were closer in age gap, and she passed, but I know that they had some problems in their relationship as well too. I don't know if it was to this level, but I think it's a money thing. I think the money kind of, because all right, she said that they were together for 10 years. Whoa. This is going to sound very insensitive, but I can't understand why someone would stay around with somebody for 10 years that's doing them that dirty if it's not for they afford them a certain lifestyle.
Uh,
I don't
There's
think
a-
just
there's
because
a-
you're with an
I think-
older man.
I get it, but I think there's a possibility where if you're somewhat inexperienced in life, and this is let's say it's new to you, but you haven't had many experiences before.
What's
It becomes
new to you?
like these type of
Flying private?
no, not even flying private. I'm talking about the weird stuff, the drugs, the sexual escapades, the things like that. Like if she wasn't like super experienced in those arenas, and he was the one that introduced her to that, because if she's been with him since she was 19, but I think it was another article said something about 17, but she alleges that they got together at 19.
Well, no, they met at 19 and they got together when she was 22.
Oh, okay. All right. Maybe I'm off then. But either way, I'm not sure at that age she probably didn't have a ton of experiences, especially with men who were as experienced as a Diddy, right? He was older than her and he had a lot more life experience than she has, So it's like there could be idol worshiping, him being who he is. Yeah. So it's like, all right, I'll roll with that in that sense. And then also, if he is able to somewhat manipulate a younger woman, she's going to fall in love with him alongside with the lifestyle.
What you think he manipulates her with the resources?
The resources,
with the promises of a career. She seen what he did for other artists, so she promised him a lucrative career. Then he put her under a wing, got a flying private.
She could even be a fan, though. She could have even been a fan of him.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like imagine you're a artist that you were a fan of signs you, and it's like, yo, then now he wants to date you, all that other stuff like that.
So just to reset the conversation, you're saying that the age gap had more to do with the reason why Diddy was being able to manipulate her. I'm saying it was more of the money.
I think money had something to do with it, but I think
he was more to do with it. You think that age gap?
Yes, I think him having more experience than her, he was able to manipulate her in a lot of situations. Now, like say for instance, his new situation with Young Miami. He may be older than her, but I think she has a lot of experience, right? I don't think she would be. You may not get a lawsuit from her. She may know how to work it underneath the table, like make sure you take care of me or whatever. You know what I mean? Like she might have jumped in it knowing what she's getting into.
She has a podcast on his network, and she has
she's going to milk the situation.
So she's doing her thing. But I mean, honestly, we're all looking at her, and like I think the world is turning around and looking at her like. Is this happening to you too? And then we're gonna hear from you.
I don't think so, because you got to think about. You don't think
this is happening right now?
First of all, like
she's going on record, like yo.
Think about it. No.
Pissed on. She's getting.
She's not signed to Diddy.
No.
Right.
No.
Cassie is signed to Diddy and his girlfriend, but she only had one hit record, and it seems like. Young Miami is getting more out of the situation already, and she's not even signed to him. She's not making him no money. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
She got him to, give me a podcast deal. I'll be by your side as your girlfriend. But I'm gonna work my situation with you. Cassie didn't even work her situation. She got one hit record.
We would have been saying